What's up, my good people? Welcome back to my channel. It is Ali, your favorite eccentric slow mad, you guys. And today we've got a topic that I'm going to talk about that actually is pertinent to what's happening in the world right now. But it is a replacement topic. Um, and today's topic is really it's if you're questioning whether you should go, the timing isn't perfect, you don't have everything mapped out. um Sometimes you got to take the plunge and just quit. That does not mean be unprepared, but that just means sometimes you have to take the plunge. All right, so you guys, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to tell you why we're not talking about Goa as I had planned. Yes, y'all, I am still in India. I am in Goa right now on the coast, on the north side of the coast. Let me just tell you guys off track. Get you a portable fan. These things are like ice boxes. Yeah, I got this off Temu. If you want the link, let me know. I don't know where my thing is. I think it's supposed to be looking right there. Anyway, get you one of these. It got a little stand to stand up. It bends like this. You can hang it around your neck like these. And hold on, y'all see. And when you're walking down the street, it sits right there and it just blows on you. You cannot beat that. Anyway, I have bags in my eyes. Y'all look like I ain't slept in weeks. Anyway, this is why you should quit. So anyway, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But you guys, welcome back. I appreciate you guys always being there, keeping track with where I am in the world. If you have not already, please click the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you know when I'm going to do a live. Today I scheduled one, y'all, and I stuck to it. Can you believe that? Well, I had to schedule multiple times because I was going to try to do it out and about. Connection was not allowing it, and rather than just go on and it be really a crappy video and then y'all can't understand a word that's coming out of my mouth, I decided to go ahead and wait until I got back inside to semi-stable. I'm going to talk about some of these things later. Let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure that this is broadcasting properly and that you guys can leave comments. If you are on, please. It says that I'm live, I think. Please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know where you are watching from. I appreciate you guys. Always, all the time. So let me tell you um, why we're not talking about Goa. So, and you know, we just gonna say Lord or whatever you use. Lord works in mysterious ways. So this morning, and I didn't even say this out loud, but I got a message because y'all know I keep it real. I'm gonna tell the good, the bad, and the in between. And so I have a lot laid out about Goa. I actually am leaving in 2 days, but I'm gonna still be here in the country. And what popped up in my news feed today is that authorities are looking for I think he's an Indian um, uh, uh, citizen who is a blogger, content creator, or something like that. But anyway, he went on to talk about why tourists are not coming to Goa, outlining all these different things, giving links, and they are really upset about it because they feel like there has been such a downswing in the population, the number of tourists that are flocking over to India from, let's say, I think it was like 2018 to 2023 count and so on and so forth. And they feel like his specifically his post or video or whatever it is causing fear and wreaking havoc, and they are actually trying to file a lawsuit or something like that against him. So I thought I'm gonna wait to do my video. Um, my video, it's going to point out realities, and it might be better if I record it and actually put videos alongside. But in no way necessarily bashing. You take what you get from that, from the information that's presented, and you go from there. But it's just really crazy because it is one of those things where you could be in a place where there is not freedom of speech. Um, and so you do want to be mindful about that because now he don't stand out being an Indian or at least Asian man. He does not stand out. I do. So they gonna find me. It's like being Ray Caruth. They gonna find me. So let me make sure that you guys can see and hear me okay. I don't have any comments, so I'm gonna assume it is good. Hold on. Let's see. Usually it pops right up and I can see. Ah, there we go. I can see. All right. So I'm just checking. One piece of hair is going to drive me insane this entire video. So I didn't realize I was that close. Was scooting back just a bit. All right. So, all right, y'all, let's get into it. Make sure everything has caught up. Please leave comments. I'm going to be my own monitor, and just FYI, I do delete people. I do block people immediately. So if you do say something crazy, you will be blocked and deleted. But if you are checking in for the first time, click the button. If you are coming back, you are a regular um, Where's Ali triber. Please let me know that you're on, and where in the world are you today? Okay, y'all, let's just jump into it because I think, um, given what's happened, and I haven't really spoken about, okay, my social media is talking loud about last week's November 5th debacle, but I haven't really done any videos, and I was going to try to make it through without doing any videos. Um, Let me just make sure that I can see when it glitches, so apologize for stopping and slowing down. But um, I was going to try to get through without talking at all about uh, November 5th. But I think the alarms are going off for everyone. And um, a number of people have reached out to me, and or for a number of things. Ali, are you coming home? Many of them are saying, I'm sure you're not coming home. I was just in the States, y'all. That's probably the longest I've been in the States in 4 years, but I was just in the States in July and again, so July to August, so 3 weeks, and then which seemed like forever. And then again in October for 2 weeks, something like that. So I was just there. I was just there, y'all. Um, and some of the other questions around how to get started on this journey. And y'all, I know I've been saying this forever, so I'm not gonna say it, but just check back with me. Check back with me. I have for the last 2 years been moving around like crazy, and I have not seated to myself for an extended period of time. Actually, really, um, yeah, 2023. I can't even tell you where I was. Oh, 2023 was Asia. Um, and I was seated for about 6 months, but during that 6 months, I had to leave every month. So to me, that's not seated. And I think I went to 10, 12, 13, 14 countries or something last year, 2023. 2024 has been no different. I've been on about four continents, I don't even know. I've been in America, I've been in South America. No, this year I was not in South America. I was in America. I was in the Northern America, Africa, Europe, and now I'm in Asia. So 4 continents so far this year, totaling about 12, 13 countries, and probably at least one more before the year ends. All right. So I've been moving and shaking a lot, and just so much is like up in here that I want to share with you guys. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I really need some assistance. I just I am like a visionary, and I believe in. Hey, Marilyn. Good morning. How are you? What you doing up? Um, Again, and let me just say, you guys, sorry for this time. But it seems to be a good time sometimes. So I'm just trying to also figure out, because I'm in a different time zone. So I'm almost 12 hours ahead of you guys. I'm 11 and a half hours. Like, I don't even know what that means, but 11 and a half hours um, earlier than Central Standard Time. I really wish that that meant that I could give y'all lotto numbers or something. Like, I really, really wish it did, because y'all, we'd all be like racking it up. We're going to talk about stock one day. Actually, I'm talking hopefully be jumping on with one of my good traveling sisters from Lack to Legacy, who does teaches women and is doing a 1,000 women investment group sign up thing for the next year or so. But talk about investing and different things like that, and just there's just so many things coupled with this notion of getting up, packing up, and moving, and or at least utilizing your right. I don't have it in front of me, to utilize your blue book if you are a U.S. citizen, or any citizen of any place, but to utilize whatever passport book that you have, or residency card, or whatever the case may be, and to utilize that and start exploring the world. Okay. There's so many reasons why quitting is not a bad thing. I'm going to talk about this. I think I have this as a point later on. At least I know I have it as a point later on. But, long gone are the days of you got to stay at a company for 25 to 30 years to be valued, for people to look at you as a success, story, and things like that. Years ago, I would probably say 10 or 15 years ago, 20 probably, because we've been friends for 25 years, probably even longer than that. Yeah. I have a dear friend of mine whose husband talked about how his strategy was to leave a job every 2 to 3 years. And that was to up his salary, to increase his skill set, all kinds of things. And I remember sitting and going, "What?" Because we weren't taught that. We weren't taught to get up and move around. And I can tell you, being out in this space, y'all, I've been here 4.5 years. I have been gone. Of course, I have come back to the States 3 or 4 times, too many, but usually just passing through. But I've been out here going on 5 years, and that 5 years flew by, my friends. Marilyn says I'm good. I happen to be, oh, well, I'm glad you're on. Hopefully this is good. I know you already know about all of this, and you know, always um, rally us on in our journeys as we're moving around this globe as well. So we appreciate those of you who stand back and um, share the information, and also um, I kind of talk about some of your dreams and passions and things like that, because you give us uh, clarity on the things that people who are listening actually want to hear about. And so, anyway, this topic it's been in my notes for a minute, and I just decided this is what we're going to talk about today, um, because, like I said, after being out here for 4.5 years, and seeing the things that I've seen and doing the things that I've done and moving about the way that I'm moving about, which we'll talk about a little bit in some of these points as to why this is it's okay. Um, I'm going to preface it now. I wish I would have done it in my 20s, even with a child. I wish that I would have done this in my 20s and homeschooled my son. Outlooks on life would be so different. And no regrets to, what the life that I've led because I'm here now. But that just kind of preludes into why I'm saying take the plunge and that, why sometimes you just have to quit, right? So I'm going to, there's a couple little quotation thingies that I actually like. I may not have them, but little things around little cliche things. I'll come back to that later. Little things that kind of grab your attention thinking and make you start thinking about this journey a little bit more, right? Oh, Marilyn and anyone else that's on, let me know if you guys can see me okay, because sometimes it looks like it's a little grainy on my laptop. Looks great on my on my phone, but when I look at my laptop, it looks a little grainy. So, I'm gonna read my notes because y'all know I get off track like I ain't even supposed to be running track. Um, so first, let me just tell you a little bit about my work life journey. So you guys, y'all may know that obviously I just said I've been out here for 4.5 years. I quit my corporate job of 19 years in 2020. Why did I quit my corporate job of 19 years? And what did I get as a result of doing that? Nada. I got absolutely nothing. I walked away with nothing. Okay. I'm not telling y'all to do what I did. I'm not telling you to go cold turkey like don't stop smoking cigarettes. I'm not telling you that. I'm just painting a picture as and hopefully um, giving the person who is on the edge and trying to decide if they are going to pull the plug or not. Um, some information or encouragement to yay or nay it, okay? And everybody's experiences is their own experience. So please don't look at this and go, oh, it's gonna be just like Ali. It ain't, because if I did it over, it would be different. Okay, slightly different. Um, but I personally, one of the things that was big for me, so I've always been a planner, even though I'm a sad, y'all. I probably because I had a child and all of that in my life growing up, I've always been a person that you can depend on, a reliable person, getting things done, planning, all kinds of things. So I was that person, even though I I have a somewhat of a flighty personality, meaning that I'm gonna get up and move. Right? It's not flighty to me. It's well planned out. it's well under consideration. But for other people, it may seem flighty, right? Because I don't let people be all up in my business, right? But years, let's see. So it's been 4 years. So that was 2020. I would say in 2015 would make 15 years. And in 2015, my place of employment was doing early retirement, had started rolling out these plans for early retirement and what um, the packages would look like, severance packages and early retirement packages and all this. And I was just like, oh my God, this is what I want. I would love to retire early. Let me tell you guys, 15 years may not seem like a lot. However, I have been in the game since I was 12 years old. I have been working legally since I was 12 years old. And so, yeah, that's not early retirement for me. I worked 38 years of my life. So, I didn't put in the time, right? Um, and at the time when they were rolling it out, I didn't make the cut. And I didn't make the cut by 5 years. So I'm like, oh, I got this. I got this. I can work and put some things in place, which I didn't do a great job of. I did some, but didn't do a great job of totally putting some things in place to ensure um, a little bit more longevity. And as last week is showing us, and hopefully there's some things in the work where they're going to figure some other numbers out, but showing us that we may not be able to depend on things like that we paid into Social Security. That's going to be a whole nother conversation, y'all, because I really want to vent about that whole topic. Um, and so I was planning for this 5 year the 5 years to go by and me to be prepared in 2020. I didn't know anything about the pandemic that was going to happen, nothing at all. But that was around the time that I was planning on uh, removing myself from the workforce anyway, but under different terms and being really in a space almost like as if I was retiring from the military. So many of my military retiree friends are like set. That's what I was hoping would happen, but it did not. So anyway, I would have been eligible in 2020. But what happened? So I started preparing myself. You guys have probably heard my story. Started around 2018. Really was like that was when the buck stopped and everything had to be in order, had to be taken care of, get these things in, worked out. I sold my first house in Hoffman Estates, in fact, suburb of Chicago, back in 2019. Worked that all the way, made sure that I was good to go, and I still had a house in Texas, but paid off all my bills. Anything that I still had, which I really didn't really have, you guys, I still will be putting out the financial diet book of how I paid off $24,067, something like that, and some change back in 2010 in 1 year. How you can do that on your own without any debt consolidation. Ask me. It's more about discipline than it is about strategy. Okay. Um, and so I started putting things in place to take the plunge, right? Um, Started looking at different investment opportunities, which I failed at miserably. Started removing myself from situations where other people were dependent on me, where other people were counting on me. Um, because then I also began to realize how many situations I had burdened myself with that were not in alignment with the steps I wanted to take, the goal that I had. And while for some people that might sound selfish, but if you're not going to do for you, who's going to do for you, right? I can spend my entire life doing things that uh, boost up another person and not have an expectation that anybody's supposed to boost me. But then what did God put me here for? I believe that I have a special place here, and there is something profound that I'm supposed to be accomplishing, right? And so I was putting myself in a position to achieve those things, knock everything out of the way, and really start looking at myself and saying, but you matter too, Ali. And I'm saying this to you guys, you matter too. And so often, especially as women, we have this mindset of, yeah, I'm out here working, I'm trying to make ends meet, I'm doing what I'm doing. We have this mindset. However, we don't necessarily believe it. Like we still believe that we're supposed to put everything on the back burner for other people. We believe that, yeah, I'm putting 100% effort in, but as soon as somebody walks up and says, "Oh my God, can you help me with this? You would be fantastic for this." Story I used to always hear, and it was fantastic. I love that other people needed me. But was I blocking myself from reaching goals where I can be more valuable to other people because I kept stopping the path that I was supposed to be on, right? I see it more clearly now, y'all. I see it so clearly now because I look at everything that I have been exposed to in 4 years, and I'm shaken in awe that I didn't start sooner because age kicks in, y'all. Age kicks in. Okay, so anyway, what happens is come 2019, 2017, I was planning 2019. I've gotten everything taken care of. Um, and they roll out in December the early retirement plan. Y'all, Heartbreak Hotel, they literally extended it 6 more years, which I would still be in. Because a lot of times you're like, oh, that 6 years is going to go by so fast. Y'all, this would just be year number 4. So I still had 2 more years. I couldn't. I literally couldn't. I was like really broken in that I had this whole thing planned out, and it was predicated on the package that I would receive, the monthly, continued monthly salary. Are there other things that I could have done? Sabbatical instead, possibly, but maybe not the way that my job was set up. All these things, boom, boom, boom. And I said, I can constantly be thinking about other people. Some people would say, well, you were thinking about yourself, but I had been. I had been saving and putting money away and giving money away and putting money back away and then giving and putting it all into all these other things that were not conducive to my longevity, which then creates more space to assist other people. I wasn't doing that. I was doing everything else in and around me. And I finally decided to make a decision strictly for me. Strictly for me. Now, for some people, that's difficult to do. And I'm not telling you to do anything that you don't want to do. But if you're on the fence and you're not feeling fulfilled, which means that, and I could tell you this 100,000,000%, that if you're not feeling fulfilled, I guarantee you are not presenting at 100% for other people. The people that you are trying to hold down, you are not presenting at that highest peak, the highest level that you could be at. You are not as encouraging as you think you are. You're not as for me, I'm scattered. I'm more scattered in trying to continue to hold on to these things that I'm supposed to be doing. And it creates this bottleneck that you have to, it's a barrel. We just gonna say it makes it harder to get out of because there's so many things that you have to um, reconcile with yourself once you get to that point, right? So when you prolong it, you create you create more things that you're gonna have to work through. Right. Marilyn says, even though my granddaughter is almost 21, this video will be essential for her because she's always wanted to live, travel abroad, even as a little girl. Oh my God. Please share it with her. Please have her comment, send me some notes, something like that, around where her journey is and what she's thinking as a 21-year-old. Because let me tell you, oh my God, the people I met, there's so much. Okay, so I'm gonna get to it. So in essence, what happened is I put all my time into everything and everyone else and had this great, amazing plan. So for those who think I just flew the coop. No, I had a plan. The plan did not go down the exact path that I wanted, and it changed. The plan changed. I didn't change. The plan changed. The process changed. There was the what was supposed to happen changed. And I could have changed with it. I could have said, oh, well, I'm gonna hold on for 6 more years. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. Money is one thing. And not having the money is the same money that I had because I was making really good money. Um, Not having the money is one thing. But in the 4 years, realizing the level that my sanity, my mental capacity had deteriorated, and no one really knew because I was all in, you know, nobody knew. I didn't even really know until I was completely drained, right? So when all those things didn't happen, all those things didn't come to fruition, um, I had to make a decision. Am I again staying because of money? Because I had money. I didn't have money, but I had money. But what I wasn't doing is I wasn't learning what to do with the money because I was in this capsule, as many of us are, where we just work and we either save or we spend. Some of us invest, but for the most part, we're spenders. Um, and so the exposure that I really needed, because I am the kind of person that always is taking care of something or someone else, the exposure I needed, I could not get in the space that I was sitting in. And that was a realization that I had to come to on my own, that if I ever was going to be what I believed I could be, I was going to need to do something different, right? So this is where me kicks in, is like no fear, right? So this is how, this happened from my perspective. I planned it, planned to leave, didn't happen, and then the other things that transpired that made me say I'm not staying any longer, and that was diversity issues that we had in the workplace. I'm going to talk about all these things. So let me go down the list here, you guys. Um, Thank you for listening to my story. So yeah, I was waiting for early retirement. They changed, they moved the goalpost on me, and so I had to make a decision. Um, like I was getting into diversity and was not inclusive at my job. I actually worked for a company based in Arkansas, put two and two together. You would think that there would be some inclusivity. It was very limited. I was one of two uh, Black managers in my 121 manager department, I guess. It changed our structure so many times, we'll just say department. So 121 managers. 121 managers, and of those only two, and we're both Black women. Only two of us were Black. So what does that mean? Does that mean anything? Yeah, it begins to mean a lot when we have diversity meetings and things like this, and nobody giving the diversity training is my color. Uh, and when they do, they have to go outside of the company to get someone. Like things like that just, and when no one from my team that reports to me attended because it wasn't mandatory. All right, y'all, we're gonna talk about that a whole nother meeting. So these were the things that were fueling the fire, right? So one of the other things I realized is no matter how long I stayed, I never get the proper backup that I needed, which was part of my mental strain and stress. And I was like hanging upside down all the time, literally because of the levels of stress that I had. Um, you know, so I would never get the proper backup and support that I needed. I was taking off my vacation time and stuff, but I was still working. I was still connected to the job. Uh, and nobody wanted the accounts that I had, right? So I had to think about these things. I had to literally say to myself, okay, there are things that are never going to change. So one, they're never going to fire you. They were never going to fire me. And they thought I never would quit, right? Um, so when you're in that space, and yeah, I could have any mobile movement that I could have made and stuff to do what? Kind of the same thing, be stuck in the same grind, doing the same thing over and over and over again. For me, I had hit the wall, right? So for me, it was necessary to decide if I was going to take this plunge or not. So these are some of the things I want you all to think about when you're, thinking about your place of employment. You know how people say nobody remembers that you didn't take your vacation time. Nobody remembers that you didn't use your sick time, your sick leave, even if you ain't sick. Nobody's going to remember um, that you came to work ill all those times, except you, except your family. Right? Nobody's going to remember all these things. And so when you're looking for this by no means is indicative of every single corporation. Because I've literally heard some people talk about how they love their company, they love their boss, they love their structure. That's great. I was in IT, so if anybody is interested or wondering, I was in IT for 27 years. I didn't go to school for IT, so I worked my way up from the bottom all the way to the top back in the day when we could do that. Um, and From a financial standpoint, it was fantastic. No complaints, still no complaints to this day. But from a mental perspective, it was it was not conducive to what my purpose is. All right. So, but I had to understand that I had to sit back and take that into consideration in deciding, making decisions. Additionally, you guys, I had always been a person who had a rainy day. I had a rainy day fund all the time. Um, and so I was always very, as flighty as I may look to other people, I was always prepared. I always had something, always, I these little things. I didn't know how I was going to utilize them, but I had them in place. Let's talk about those on another call. Um, so again, going back to taking the plunge and deciding to bounce before retirement, when you're so close to it. Because I can be in it now, y'all, and they can move the goalpost yet again, right? The idea is if you decide, you have to start thinking about what it is that you want to do and start positioning yourself to do that, irregardless, which is not a word, but we're going to make it one today because ain't is a word in the dictionary now. But regardless of what something external from you is doing, right? And so when you get to a point where you're only making decisions or you're only going to be able to make this jump or do something that you dreamed of, if something else outside of you happens, kind of rethink that, y'all. Just take a couple of days to sit back and jot out what your vision, what your plan is, what your purpose, what you truly feel you believe you're supposed to be doing. And see if that lines up with where you are right now. And if it doesn't, including setting yourself up and making sure that you've paved the way for you or whatever, you and your family, or if you're solo, then start making the plans or talking to the appropriate people. Y'all, I was not at this year's Exodus Summit, and for those who are on my on here listening now or after, um, who know what the Exodus Summit is. It's started by Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow, and they've been doing this, I want to say 5 years now, something like this. But anyway, some other ladies from the US who took the plunge as well and went out and figured out how to make a new life a different way, living in different countries, doing it different ways, but then now assisting other Black women to do the same thing. Now I think they do assist, you know, other ethnic groups and things like that, but their primary focus is assisting Black women. And so I was not on this year's Exodus Summit because actually I think, in transition that weekend, specifically coming to India, which was a lot of movement in 3 days. so, so I missed it, but I'm very well aware of how all of that kind of comes together, and you end up with these networks that you can reach out to, and sisterhood and relationships, and people that you may not physically meet, but you encourage one another, things like that. Listen, those things are critical. Those things are important. If I don't know how I want to say this, if you've never needed or found a need for a support group for doing something like this, taking the plunge, this is when you're going to need it, right? And so when I took the plunge, I kind of was on my own. I heard about people, but I was kind of just doing my own thing, and I really was detoxing. I was really trying to uh, get some mental stability and find myself. And it literally took 2 years, y'all. It took 2 years, and I'm still in the process of um, digressing, so to speak, right? But once you get to the point where you're saying to yourself, these are the things, this is what I want to do, and not in a selfish way, I don't care about nobody else, but sometimes you might need to. Sometimes you might actually need to say, okay, this little nugget has to be about me. If you got family, you got friends, you got obligations, because I know there's always someone that's like, I can't do this. I can't, everybody can't get up and do what you do, Ali. If that is your response to any of this, then it's not about anything that I'm saying. It's about you. If your response is everybody can't do what you do, that's I'm just gonna say that's you bringing negativity into it and associating it with something that I'm sharing or anyone else is sharing. Those are loopholes that you have to get over because I would, um, you know, chime in and say, you're here for a reason. You're listening for a reason. You're part of these conversations and these groups for a reason because something inside of you is saying, okay, this is really what I want to do. And you just haven't gotten to the point where you're accepting that it's possible. And it's so possible, it's like beyond possible, right? And there's so many different ways to achieve it. You don't have to be full time. You don't have to be roaming like I'm roaming. A lot of people don't like this lifestyle. Like I don't know where I'm going next because I don't. I really don't. I have some ideas on both sides of the plateau. I have some obligations and things like that, but I've got so many options. But let me tell you how many friends I have now. Reached out to someone yesterday and said, "Hey, person has an apartment in Turkey and has an apartment in Bulgaria. Hey, are any of those available in 2025?" Right? Set the stone, set the stage. Would never have met this person if I were not out here living the way that I'm living, which is different than, you know, jumping on, short trips and doing my tours and doing my vacations and stuff like this. I met these people because I was living every day in these spaces, right? So, going back to because I kind of got off a little bit of track, y'all. That's why I got notes. But going back, you have to first decide that it's something that you want to do. You have to first decide what it is you want to do. And when you decide, I've been by mosquito. And when you decide, which is so crazy, my natural blood spray on. And when you decide what it is that you want to do, you have to literally sit down and say, can I do it? And not can I do it in terms of, um, do I have the mental capacity? You might need to do that too, but can you do it in a way that does not cause you more strain and stress, right? Especially if you're not a person that doesn't work well under stress. So you have to like start putting yourself kind of outlining who you are. You got to start knowing yourself. That's why one of the very first module in my travel course is what is your why? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to get out here? Why are you enamored by this lifestyle? Especially if this isn't your personality. So then what is it that you actually want to do? So deciding what it is that you want to do and then weigh your options and in doing it in a timely enough fashion that you aren't arbitrarily sitting and waiting for things to be perfect. You're not waiting for, some people have a 10-year plan. Well, after I do this, I'm gonna buy this and then I'm gonna buy this and then I'm gonna make this much money. I'm gonna tell you, scope as much as you can, scope out, but then look at how you can do that. Possibly if you're in a negative situation, like I just needed to go. It was really time for me from a mental perspective to break ties with where I was. Um, really looking at what can you do without the brick and mortar? You know, are you positioned to take on something that is remote and really remote? And maybe just start moving around in the States or wherever your home is. And then, from there, go on and so on. So these are just little tidbits I'm throwing out here, you guys. Okay. Um, got an eye itch. I don't know if I'm just going my eye or not, but we'll see. Okay. So these next 3 points are kind of the crux behind how life changed the changes that occurred because of the decisions I made in 2020, July 29th, to leave the country kind of on a whim, how things started transpiring in my life that further confirmed that this is the life that I was supposed to be living and that there was so much more that I needed to do. And because I didn't have the structure and I didn't really have everything lined up, it's taking me a little bit longer. And because sometimes I do fly by the seat of my pants and I don't want to go back to a certain structure because complacency can set in, even though I am a Sag. I can be very complacent and be like, okay, I'm good, chill with the base and move on from there. I know myself well enough that I have to do certain things to make sure that I'm continuing along this journey and fulfilling um the purpose that I'm here for, right? And so once I started my journey, which I didn't realize was a journey, y'all, I went to Mexico to start and ended up staying for 4 months. I went for 2 weeks and stayed for 4 months. And that was my cue. That was the cue that said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you can do this. Y'all, the people I've met that I still keep in contact with um, from that 4 months, the hurricanes we ran from, the road trips we took after meeting it in one day, just and the people I met after that, um, moving around the country of Mexico and hitting up, I guess I don't know if they call them states, but territories and uh, their districts. But anyway, a province. I don't think they're called provinces, but districts, different areas in Mexico. We call them cities, like Acapulco or CDMX and Cancun and uh, Playa del Carmen. All these places. I ended up going to like 10 different, eight, 9 or 10 different cities in that first 4 months, and just awakened at what is available, what's right here at our fingertips. I just posted a real quick video the other day talking about the number of countries that U.S. citizens have access to go to, where we that are visa-free entry with over 100, up to 180 days, and Mexico was one of them. I didn't even know because I never looked because Mexico was not on my list of places to, like explore and consider. But in doing so, that was the straw that strengthened, by getting out here and starting to live the life that I dreamed of living for so many years before. And I'm talking about probably 15 years before that, deciding and knowing that this is the path that I wanted to take. So much so that I had semi-structured it in my mind and told people about it, apparently, because they reminded me and I didn't even know that, right? Tell people or your dreams, not everybody, but share some of your dreams with somebody because people will remember these things and it kind of holds you accountable. But once I started traveling, I realized, number one, how much easier it actually is to do with a U.S. pass as a U.S. passport holder. Um, Realizing how vast the world is and just how important it is to believe that you can do something and go out there and accomplish it. Because the next year I spent a year in Africa. Yeah, and I had been to the northern part of Africa and the west side. I'd been to Senegal and I'd been to Morocco, but I hadn't gone and lived in Africa for a year. But I was just like, well, if I can live in Mexico for 4 months, I can live in Africa for a year. And I did. I did. I made friends. I still have friends. Oh, okay. That's one point, is that once I started traveling, I realized how much I didn't know, how vast the world is and how actually easy it is for US passport holders to navigate in it. Okay. Number two, like I was leading to, I met people I would never have met otherwise. Um, and this is why I say I wish I'd done this in my 20s, because what I learned, what I gleaned from these people and these relationships, just sitting back and just watching, and the experiences that I'm having, and I'm sitting and going, you've been living like this for 25 years? And not saying that they're nomads, but there's another side of the world, the side that I'm sitting in, that moves around like ants. Like they literally move like we say nomads. This is normal life for them. I know I've met people who at the age of 20, 25, maybe had a kid or two, who knows? Um, but had companies based in Hong Kong at the age of 25, or uh, had already gone to 3 or 4 different countries and residency in different places, and And I'm just like, "Oh, wait, wow, wow." I'm thinking, it's amazing the countries and stuff that I've visited. These people have been living in places or living on boats and stuff like that for 3, 4, 5 years already. This is, and with that, not only do I meet people who have different experiences, I'm learning from them, which means that then I can take that information in and say, is this something I want to know more about? Is this something that I want to pursue? Is this a part of this vastness that I am now intrigued by? And now I know someone personally that can assist me, right? So I don't always have to go and look at external things and the poshness of certain things. I can literally sit in it and see if I want to be a part of it, right? And then last thing, I'm gonna tell you this. The reason why you need to go ahead and take the plunge, and this isn't everywhere. I already prefaced this, y'all. And sometimes you just have to quit, make a decision to leave, make a decision to bounce, make a decision to take a sabbatical and just call it what it is. Start planning, because usually in sabbatical, you're getting paid at least 70, 80%, 60, 70, 80% of your salary. Take it, start setting yourself up. This is one of the last reason. Your job does not care about your sanity the way that you should care about your sanity. Job cares about your performance because your performance directly impacts the company. Your sanity is such that you're getting paid. What's the problem? In most jobs, most corporations, things like that, right? We know we see the same thing all the time. Um, your job doesn't necessarily care. I've seen people in healthcare, who nurses and other levels, who literally just said, you know what? I'm going to be a content creator, or I'm going to go and teach in another country or do something, and have left the practice. And they hold, in my opinion, a job that's way more important than mine, because they care for life. Um, from a medicinal level, they can assist people with, you know, whatever their practice specialty is, right? And if they can do that, if they can look up and say, this is not for me, this is not what I need, but I can take my schooling, my training, what I've learned on the job, the expertise I have, and I can go and do something different with it, do something better, or not maybe better in some people's lives, but for more fulfilling for them, which means that they are happier people, which means that they then put out happier energy, which means that who they touch, that energy that passes back and forth, the next person that they touch then takes that positive. It's the paying it forward of energy, you guys. We can't pay good energy forward when we're passing bad energy because we're in bad spaces. And we're in bad spaces because we're not deciding who we are, what we want to be, what we want to do, and taking it by the jugular and saying, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Get yourself in a network of people. I don't have a huge network. I have some people that I reach out to. I need a little bit more, um, of people who I can talk to on a regular basis that are directly in this line of this path that I'm on. I need to be, put myself in more of those spaces a little bit more often, because I'm moving so much and a little haphazard that I'm a little jagged in that area. But if you get the appropriate network, the appropriate group to encourage you, and you can encourage and inspire other people as well with your journey, because your journey is yours, but you never know who it might help, who it might assist. Oh my God. If you can do that, that takes half the burden of the insecurity, the confusion, the did I do the right thing? Am I making the right decision? It starts to take a lot of that burden away, because at the very least, you know that you've got people that you can rely on to support your journey, but also help guide you. So, guys, nowhere in this, and I'm going to wrap this up, nowhere in this do I say just jump in and leave it all to the wind and let other people take care of you. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't. What I am saying is stop being the couch that people lay on and sit on all the time and not fold up, your legs and start moving the way that you want to move. I am saying, um, decide what it is that you want to do so that you can start planning if you need to plan. I am saying don't wait until it's perfect because it never will be. I am saying that it's okay to leave that job of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. If you're really close to retirement and you're going to get, a monthly whatever, stay. By close, I mean 1 or 2 years, and you can mentally handle it. If you're on the brink and you're on the edge, figure out a way to wait that year out. If you know for sure it's guaranteed, figure out a way to wait that year out, right? Maybe take a sabbatical, take some time off, use all of your vacation time. These are the things that I am saying. Do for you. One thing you know for certain is that job will always be there. Okay. I know somebody's gonna say it might not, especially with November 5th that just happened last week. It might not be. And I get that. So I'm not speaking on that level. What I mean is when you have a job and you're in the workplace and you take a vacation, y'all, I never would come back on Mondays because Mondays are the worst, right? On everything that was there on Saturday, that popped up on Saturday, was always there on Monday. It was there waiting for me when I got back, right? There was never a time where something was taken care of that I did not have to pick it back up. So that is the same to you. It's always going to be there. There's always going to be something, and there's always going to be another person to fill that gap. So one of the other things I want to leave you guys with before I go is removing your ego that tells you that you have to be the one to see something all the way through. Removing the ego that says, well, I need to be here for 25 years. I need to make this mark. I need to get the little pin or the plaque that ain't nobody going to see because it's going to be in a box somewhere. Plus, when you move and everything, you're going to get rid of it and give it to Goodwill, right? Don't give it to Goodwill. You guys, I have a suggestion for you. Make sure that you take all of your things to a shelter where the people who the shelter supports get the things for free or pennies, like Genesis is one in Dallas. All right, okay, that was my little got off track. But yes, realize your ego is playing a big part in your decision to stay and be traumatized because you are no good to anyone else. You are probably painful to be around. Nobody will tell you. Because I know I went through a phase of that as well. We could talk about that offline. But realizing when you're doing something because you're afraid of doing something else, and then taking the steps so that you can start chiseling away at what is causing that fear, what's causing you to hold on to this ego, hold on to these things that are keeping you from actually doing the things that you literally say to yourself every day. Oh my God, oh my God, I'm just living through you, and some people are and they're okay. But I'm talking about the people who are literally like, I have capacity left. I could actually be doing these things, but you're not. That's what I'm talking about, right? I don't want anybody to be, you know, um, thinking that their decisions are not good decisions. If you feel these ways, if you feel like you're not accomplishing, you're not reaching, you're not where you want to be, and you find yourself subconsciously saying these things over and over again, you are the person I'm talking to. I'm not talking about the person who's happy, who's content, who's good where they are. I'm not talking to that person. That person is probably only listening, and thank you for being here if you are, um, to share with other people because they know other people have the space for uh, doing something different. That's innovation comes also from experience. You can be innovative and have just like amazing creative ideas. But let me tell you what happens when you start to soak up different energy. When you are in environments where just the vibrations are so different that regardless of what happens, you are literally always a level up. Last thing for me, I'm going to tell you guys, and this is going to be a whole nother topic as to why I don't stay in the US, is that the vibration I feel when I arrive and the vibration I feel when I leave. Okay. So you got to start gauging these things because your well being, especially if you are saying that you are doing something because people depend on you, your well being and your mental state and your capacity have to be in the giving, the overflow, in order for people around you to actually receive something positive. You can give somebody money and time all day, but if you are not in a good place, you're passing energy that is not necessarily the greatest. That's what you're paying for. All right. So anyway, y'all, that's my spiel. That's my spiel for today. Take the plunge. Taking the plunge? Why sometimes you just have to quit. Okay. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, you guys. Let me know if this resonated with you or anyone else that you know. If it's helpful, I like to try to share my story because there's so much to it. There's like levels and levels and levels to it. And sometimes it gets lost in the sauce and everything just seems like just, perfect and everything is all kind of sketched out. I actually probably should put you guys on live with me planning this week because I don't even have my hotel and I'll be leaving in 2 days. But that happens all the time. I'll arrive in a place. When I arrived in Delhi, I didn't have a hotel because I was going to go with some people to Agra. I didn't want to go on a 5 hour thing after we landed at 6 p.m. at night. And so I stayed in Delhi and I had to figure it out. Worked it out. It's fine. We can talk about all those things. You guys, that's what I'm here for. So thank you so much, Marilyn. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Subscribe, share, like. Marilyn, we need to talk offline. Send me your email as well. But anyway, you guys, one of my purposes, one of this purpose in sharing this information with you guys is to assist as many people who um, just don't know where to start, don't know uh, that there are resources out here. Don't know that, especially in the climate that we're in, we're being pulled back into this. I need some resources that look like me. I want some representation because every uh, tidbit of information and advice does not apply to everyone. And different things do apply in different places. I don't care what anybody says. I've been out here, you guys. I'm on like country number 47, something like that, 46, 47. And in some places it's different things that one group of people can ignore, or it never even occurs, never happens, like men versus women. There are things that they just are never going to experience that we experience on a regular basis. Okay. So if I am someone who you see yourself in, I I resonate, my journey resonates with you. The path that I'm going on resonates with you. Um, oh, let me send you my email. Oh, just seeing the messages, they're not popping up on here. Sorry about that, Marilyn. You asked me fantastic information. We all have a find our place, and if it seems uncomfortable, how can a person contact you? Oh, you're asking me. Hold on, I'm gonna type my email right now. I'm gonna give you. I'm sorry, y'all. Stay with me. Oops. So this is my long email. Contact Ali at mindyourbodyandsoul.com. It's also, you can click in my link tree. I'll also put that on here. I've been trying to do most of my consultations and things like that via my link tree where you can sign on and we could do one-on-one counsels and stuff like that. My uh, travel courses on there as well. My merchandise, all that kind of stuff is wrapped in my link tree, and it's just easier to give that. My email should be there, but there is the contact sign up thing that you can connect to on there as well. So, but my motto is to assist other people who want to start this journey and just really just don't know how. And you might be in a panic from the things that happened last week. And if you are, please reach out to me. I am doing my best to get myself uh, more organized with some content and things that you guys can just go and pull down and grab, because a lot of this information, excuse me, y'all, a lot of this information is in other documents, but it's not compiled the way that I actually want to present it to you. And this is what I meant earlier when I said I need help. Like, I really do. I actually do need the assistance with kind of pulling these things and gathering this information and putting it in the right uh, uh, documents. I'm trying, actually have been for actually a couple of years, trying to get everything digitized, everything, all the information I have from my recipes to my beauty and bath line that I have to my wellness things and all my travel information. All of these things, get all of this stuff in a digital format for you guys, like a library, for you to just pull what you need. And then reach out to me once you've gotten that information and you need to kind of have it tailored to your particular situation. And that's what I do in the consultations, is assist you with, okay, now how does this apply to me? Now, how can I take what you're talking about, Ali, and do this in my situation? But it gives you the platforms, the course that's already out there, and some of the other things, kind of give you a baseline of where to at least start, so you can start doing some of the homework yourself, because it is for you. It is for you to decide that it's what you want to do, and not, what someone else wants you to do. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, Marilyn. You are fantastic. Please email me, and we'll chat. And for anyone else, please leave comments. I know it was early in the morning. It is probably, it's 5 a.m. you guys time now, I believe. And I'm going to be going live. I'll probably just do some stuff here. I've got, like I said, another day here in Goa, and then I head to the next city here in India. And then I've got some plans on which side. So you guys, I may do a poll. Should I go east or should I go west? Yeah, should I go east? I don't know which side I'm on. Should I go east, meaning further into Asia? Because technically I'm in Asia. Should I go, back to my roots, what feels really good and comfortable? Or do I go to what feels really good and comfortable on the west side, meaning back into Europe? So, given that it's winter. So anyway, you guys, that's what I'll be working on and planning over the next couple of days, as well as some documentation and things for some people that are looking for specific travel information, like to Iceland and some of the other places that I've been, that I've neglected to kind of compile together. So if there's specific things that you guys are looking for, please let me know. And again, hopefully this is helpful. And this is just to tell you that the time is right if the time is right. That's it. Y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all know the drill. Toodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease.